Hi friends. You know, I think my eyes are crossed with trying to get the color as natural as I can get it. That wall behind me is a very, very, very soft kind of a beige. And this is the best I can do. It's very strange. I'm just seeing colors everywhere. It's maybe not there. Maybe I'm just seeing things, okay? So I have a journal for you. It's a really interesting one. So I'll mention that I wrote it at 3:33 p.m. the 31st. Guess that was yesterday. And it was the first one yesterday. The Mayan day is for Earth. When someone is in heart, you get a powerful flow from or through that one. Now, if you too are centered down, then your two hearts can spiral upward on wings of what that one shares. Have you noticed this? Have you taken a ride on the rising wind of soul singing? If not, its beauty awaits your pleasure, your choice, my heart friend. Go and be within. Just now, I was watching the latest Clark Brolly video, Wake Up Call to Transformation, a link in the transcript, of course. And I was so inspired within, I had to immediately come over here and open this journal to take that ride. And this, even before finishing his vid. Powerful updraft or current, he shares. When one soul is sharing their true inner inspiration, whatever it is, something alchemical can happen. It can so inspire you that new things are revealed from within in the midst of the sharing. And that's what's happening here. Let me see if words will carry the meaning I seek to share. As he spoke, I suddenly saw something so clearly, so simply, something that had always been there, but that I hadn't seen like this before. I saw how mankind makes its greatest mistakes by being in a hurry. The typical hurry of the typical mind. Have you noticed how mind is always pushing you on? All impatience, if you'll but pause and see, comes from mind. All boredom, too. It's just the other side of the impatience coin. So, by being in mind, we're always seeking ways to hop, skip, and jump over whatever's right in front of us. We want to cut to the chase, totally lost to the reality that the journey itself is the point. Slow down to take this in. It is rich with inspiration for you, but not for your mind. As I've shared before, to react is the knee-jerk thing that mind is so good at, whereas to respond is to take the heart route. To first ponder or savor what is shared is good, though not always necessary, since heart too, or intuition, can give you that instant response. So, discernment is called for. There are no shortcuts, no simple laws that apply equally to all at all times. Things just aren't structured that way. And if you'll look, you'll see that is mind. What we most often do with life is rush to judgment, into thinking we know what has been shared when we don't. Now that gets us into all sorts of fixes and scrapes. And it's ego or arrogance in action too. Typical mind stuff. So let's slow down. Let's take the short track from head to heart that some say is the longest, the strangest route they've ever been on. Go within. Now, be still. You can give yourself a test anytime. Just take 20 seconds for a start, or even 10, and be still. Ignore all thought that might arise. Just be, with no input, no output for those few seconds. Most of us don't do very well at this. We get terribly impatient and then automatically identify with our thoughts instead of just watching them. When you get good at this, go for 40 and then 60 seconds. Now, at first, it'll seem like a terribly long time. I have a link to a perfect video, also Clark Brolly's, that you can use to take this test. He'll take you into more than a few minutes. Now, I suggest you use it since his perfect silence, his stillness, will give you a boost. It'll give you a lift. You can ride the updraft or indraft on the strength of his powerful wings. And they're the wings of Source, the wings of Spirit. It's just that some of us discover these things earlier on. You know, each and every one of us discovers something really special that we have to share with everyone else. And there's no good and bad. There's no one more advanced than someone else, because underlying it, we're just one. We've chosen a perspective, and we're viewing from a particular perspective. So, now, friends, we help one another this way all the time, riding the updraft of someone who's centered. But most of us are in the high gear that is mind, so we're just skittering across the surface of life. We don't truly dive down. We don't truly deeply experience our now. And perhaps we sense that if we do, we'll be changed. And sure, we may. So, we have to be surrendered to a certain extent before we even start to have a smooth ride. Now, of course, you can also surrender in the moment. It's just that all the work that you did before helps. It's our mind-driven jumping over the now moment that keeps us from striking gold, from finding the paradise within that's always there for us. The quiet joy and peace always flows. Our rush also keeps us from seeing much of anything. Why? With our eyes always forward or outward pointed, we're looking to what is next, what's just up ahead. We don't know how this handicaps us from seeing what is, from simply being with that. Now we can either choose to go for a few thousand more lifetimes of this way of being before we wake up to its foolishness, or we can just stop now, just to be still. To enter heart is to both stop completely and to go at lightning speed at the same time. It is so completely, it's to so completely confound the mind that it gives up in silence for a bit. Koans are good for this pretzeling of the mind. I like the Sufi saying my YouTube channel is named after. These eyes through which I hoped to see God are the eyes through which God sees me. Check it out. It works. Go deeply into it. A silent mind is a beautiful thing. It's also a gift or a grace. It's not something you can reach out and just grasp. It comes to you. Learn to let go of all resistance to life. You'll find out what is meant by being danced. You're neither source nor the dancer. In this case, you are the dance itself. Pure being. Again, though, this is not something mind can reach out and just grasp. The now is the most sacred time. Well, it's the only time, but we'll ignore that. It's actually sacred, though this can be seen only with, through, or in heart. As Clark said, when we're in the mind all the time, we can never find home. We can never find rest. So true. As he spoke, I had a momentary vision of this little hop we were all taking up and over the now when we're in mind. Just a quick little hop that can be seen in the impatience or the boredom that is mind's response to standing still. Though the hop seems innocent enough, it's definitely not. The whole MTV, fast, flashing world that the powers that were have shoved down our throats, beginning with the youth and the teens, is the hop. It's how we're manipulated and programmed to not even see the great treasure that is both within, always, and at the heart of the now. I'd like to suggest that the hop is the calendar girl, the epitome of resistance to life. This contains our flight from and our fight with what is. The hop. It is that in action, this hop. Stop and pause to be in now? No thanks. What the heck for? There's something up ahead I'd rather be doing. Now, go take a hike. I'm not interested. That's the sort of self-talk we're taught, not overtly, but just by the very fast flashing images we see in the media. We're trained not to stay in now. Resistance to now, to being in the moment. How very simple this is. Now, once it is seen, really seen for the first time, you realize too how very simple is the solution. Once you know, once your inner self shows you something like this, you'll never be the same. You will never be ignorant of it again. Now, sure, it'll likely take some time to untrain the programming, to pull the belief weeds, keeping that behavior in place, the hop. But that's fine, because now you just know. Never again will you be the ignorant fodder for such tactics as this one that's been used on you and all of us. Now instead, you can tune into a new station, a new frequency from inside. Intuition, the still, small voice. Now you'll have this quiet knowing with you all the time. You'll be shown in little ways and large ones how you can make changes to break the power, the previous dominion the hop had over you. You've seen it, now you're in charge. This is just one more beautiful flower, beautiful aspect of awakening that all can see and partake of if they like, when they like. It's nothing that can or should be forced on anyone. Let's let everyone go their own way. You go your own. I'll go my own. You know? They'll come around all the faster by the power of the inner freedom they'll see in you. It's your inner being that reaches out to them, that helps carry them along. Keep the mind out of it. That's just not the way. And it'll just irritate them anyway. So we share from heart, riding the flow as we're guided to do. We're dumping more and more of the old self-image we had, now that we know we're not that. It takes time, but what else do you have there? The journey itself is the point. And again, the journey itself is the point. Don't go for endings or solutions or fixes or conclusions. Soon you'll see all of those as just tools of the mind to pry you out of your now, as ways that it operates to keep you doing the hop. Love the self. That's what I counsel. Just love you. Be generous and kind, whatever you think, do, or say. No more self-criticism or condemnation of any kind. Just start observing. You'll see it crop up, and each time it does, there's your choice point. Your point to take the power back that you had given away to some of the programming you received. Be understanding above all with the self. Love yourself. Treat yourself as if you were the best, most awesome, wonderful lover you ever had. And the one you're loving is just you. Love yourself like that. Then you'll have maybe 1/1,000,000th of what the love of Source is for you. Go for it. Fall in with that flow. Source will carry you along on that one. You're so deeply loved, it'll blow you right out of your body. It'll blow you away. Your love will blossom and grow to shed its fragrance everywhere. Others will gather round like moths to the flame or bees to the flower that blooms where you are. And you won't be doing that. You won't be doing anything at all. It's all just being done. You're being danced. And you're learning how much fun it is just to go along, follow your bliss. Hey, don't knock it. It works. Namaste.